Hey guys, it's Joy, and I'm here to tell you about our trip to Hot Springs National Park. This is my sister Mariah, who went with me for this leg of the trip, and she's gonna talk about her experience as well. So, to start out, we left Atlanta to go to Hot Springs, Arkansas. We drove in one day, and the trip I think Mariah was supposed to be on Google was 9 hours, right?
Yeah.
And then how long did it end up taking us?
It took us, 9.5, 10 hours to get there?
I think so.
Mhm. It was mainly due to inclement weather that added that extra half hour there. We hit some snow right around Little Rock, Arkansas, and that slowed our progress down. We had several detours and delays and slowdowns, so it added a bit more. But overall, besides that part near Little Rock, it was a pretty easy journey, just highways and smooth, not much traffic, which I was grateful for.
Yeah, I have a different memory than you. I remember a lot of traffic. It's January. When we left January 3rd from Atlanta. We hit Memphis or Birmingham first, which was fine, not a lot of traffic. Then we hit Memphis, not a lot of traffic, but the roads are crap. And whatever part of Memphis Google took us through, made me never want to go back to Memphis again. And then the next city we hit was Little Rock, but between Memphis and Little Rock, Arkansas, we hit major delays just because there's a lot of bridges, and Arkansas does not salt its bridges. And so every time we hit a bridge on the highway or even tried to reroute, we hit very, very icy bridges. And basically all the cars had to halt to almost a stop every couple of miles. So that was stressful. And Arkansas, get your crap together. Salt
the roads.
Salt the roads is our advice to you. Otherwise, Little Rock was, we just passed through, got to Hot Springs, and we stayed in an Airbnb on Lake Wachita. Is that how you say it?
Wichita? Wachita? Wachita.
So it's spelled
Ouchita.
Thank you.
Wichita.
So it's a little bit hard to pronounce, but we tried to learn it. We also, on the way, just a note for anyone who has dogs. So we have my dog here with us. He's a 5-year-old foxhound, Quincy. And we stopped at Love's gas stations. They're really nice and big. And they have great clean bathrooms, and almost all of them have dog parks. So you can kind of let your pet go and do his business, got to stretch his legs too. So that's kind of a travel tip for anyone out there. Hot Springs National Park is why we were going to Hot Springs. And it was really cool. So the weather was cold, first of all, but the park was really cool too. It's basically a downtown park. Or part of it is, and then there's a ton of hiking too. So that's kind of what we did one day, is just visited the downtown part of it. And my favorite part of the park, I think, was just getting to experience the hot springs themselves. So there's one part of downtown where there's just a natural hot spring, and you can just go and see the water and feel the water coming out. And if you watch my reel from that week, you'll see a video of the steam rising up from it. Thank you. So that was my favorite part. Mariah, what was your favorite part?
Honestly, I love Bathhouse Row in downtown Hot Springs. Just all the history that's in them. I thought that was really interesting.
What
really
is
cool.
Bathhouse Row?
So Bathhouse Row is the line of old historic bathhouses. So back in the day when hot springs was the center for, this healing mineral water that is the hot springs, people would come from all around the country to go to these bathhouses that use the natural springs. And it was like resorts and spas. So it was, some of the famous ones was the Buckstaff Bathhouse or the Fordyce Bathhouse. And the Fordyce Bathhouse now acts as the Hot Springs National Park Visitor Center. You can tour it, and I thought that was so cool just to see, all of the old baths, and then just reading the history, how a day-to-day bathhouse operates, and if you were to go visit one, what the experience would be like for you.
It's very Victorian bougie. We also went to Superior Bathhouse Brewery, which is an old bathhouse that they turned into a brewery. And that was really fun. They had great food, great beer. We tried a cranberry orange sour. And they gave us like a little secret recipe as well to try with it. We're not going to tell you what it is, but you should go there and ask for that beer if they still have it on tap, and ask them for the little secret mixer they do with it. It was really cool. So that was downtown Hot Springs. We stayed in an Airbnb again on a lake. I think next time if I went to Hot Springs, I would stay downtown because it's really, really cool and in the middle of everything. Especially if I go again in the winter or the fall, that's the place to be. If I was the summer or the spring when the weather's warmer and they let some of the water go from the dam, the spot where we were on the lake would have been amazing. It was amazing as it was, but in the summer, I'm sure it would have been super, super cool.
I think in a warmer weather too, it would be nicer to hike and do more hiking and actually do more trails. The high when we were there was 40, 45, something like that. So it was really, really cold.
The day we went hiking was closer to 55, 60.
Okay. So it was still really cool.
Okay. So yeah, on that note, if you're not a big hiker or it's too cold to hike, you can pretty much drive everywhere too in the park. So we went to the Tower Overlook, which really gives you a panoramic view of Hot Springs. And so you can do that. Highly recommend. I think we were talking about Arkansas just as a state. We didn't know much about it. Kind of underrated, I think, but I think it's a really pretty state. I love Hot Springs National Park. I think it's worth going to for sure, even if you fly into Little Rock and do a weekend in Little Rock and then come down to Hot Springs for a couple of days. Definitely worth it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agreed.
So that's our recap of Hot Springs National Park in Arkansas. And we're going to be doing another episode on our next location. Mariah, what is that?
Dallas, Texas.
Yes, there's no national park here. We're on our way to I'm on my way to another national park, but we stopped over in Dallas and we can't wait to tell you about it.